Okay, so welcome back everyone to Pandesal Talks. Today, topic natin, Wilson, there was a special request that you told me about before na sana we have a whole episode talking about the history of Tondo, Manila.
Yes.
Kasi natatandaan ko yun, Wilson. I think I sort of carelessly said na, Oy, Tondo, ano yan, di ba? Medyo
Most people
not good place yan, economically. Di ba?
It has been for decades a place with bad reputation.
Exactly.
People think Tondo is a place of crimes, Smoky Mountain, poverty, all these all these urban problems of the city.
Yeah.
But actually, people forgot in the history of the Philippines, Tondo used to be a very nice, wonderful place. Not only that, before the Spaniards came to the Philippines, people forgot that Tondo used to be one of the major kingdoms of the Philippines. I'll tell you
Kingdom?
Yes,
Kingdom?
people
How do you,
forgot.
how do you qualify that?
Imagine mo, there's a kingdom now of Thailand. There's a kingdom now
okay.
of Brunei, Sultanate of Brunei. There's a kingdom now of Bhutan. There's a kingdom of Nepal. There is the kingdom actually of Japan.
Okay.
But they call the king an emperor. It's actually a kingdom, not an empire. They tried to be an empire, World War II. They tried to be an empire by conquering the Philippines, China, everything. But sorry, they failed. So it's actually not an empire. Their emperor is actually only a king. Tondo used to be like that. It used to be a big kingdom. The kingdom was not Manila City only. It went all the way to Lampas, Caloocan, and other provinces, Rizal. It used to be one of the major kingdoms of the Philippines. And they have Sultan, Raha, all these kings. And do you know where's the headquarters of the king before? It's now the present Tondo Church area. Used to be the place, the fort or the place of the king of kingdom. And it used to be a glorious part of Philippine history, which unfortunately was erased by our amnesia for history. Number two, the reason for the amnesia for real history of the Philippines was the Western colonizers. The Spanish and American colonizers came and brainwashed us in the Philippines. Na today, we are, I think, the most westernized society in Southeast Asia, possibly one of the most westernized societies in Asia. I'm not saying it's negative. Not bad to get Western culture, Western pop culture, Hollywood, dream about NDA, Hollywood, and all that. But hopefully, we should not forget the true history of the Philippines before the Westerners came along. One of them is Tondo. It used to be a vibrant, rich, and powerful kingdom before. When the Spaniards came, they conquered.
I think that's why tinanong ko rin to because you yourself, Wilson,
I
was a Tondo boy.
Yes,
Tama ba?
I spent my childhood in Tondo. If you Google Tondo Wilson Lee Flores Philstar.com, Philippine Star.
Proud to be a Tondo boy.
Yes, I
Ang ganda.
have a unique
Ang ganda.
photo about it.
Not many can say that
Yes,
about
and
Tondo, right?
And I narrated many names. Many people don't know. Many of the great artists, poets, painters, heroes of the Philippines were born in Tondo or grew up in Tondo. Even Katipunan, I think it was set up in Tondo. Also, Andres Bonifacio was born there. The revolutionary hero Macario Sakay was born in Tondo, grew up there. The national artist Amado Hernandez, the poet, the writer, many others.
Actually, pati negosyante. Ang daming negosyante. Manny Villar. Yeah.
Came from there. Also,
Benji Yap from Unilever.
Yes,
Right?
the famous mayor of Manila today, Isko Moreno.
Of course.
Grew up in Moriones, part of Tondo, where I also spent my childhood, where Manny Villar also spent his childhood.
Do you think
Very interesting.
Manny Villar's commercials actually attributed to Tondo being depicted today as this slum area, di ba? Kasi
in
naman yung
fairness,
commercial
oo
niya.
nga. Magaling mag-advertising si Manny Villar. But actually, when he was in Tondo, he was already, I think, middle class. He wasn't very rich, but he was already middle class.
Okay.
Joseph Estrada, if I'm not mistaken, has roots in
course.
Tondo also. And some of the great movies of FPJ set in Tondo also. Some of the criminals in the Philippines, Chong Salonga and all these legendary criminals were Tondo based before.
Actually, sinulat mo rin in your article,
Yes.
even heroes like Andres Bonifacio,
Yes.
Emilio Jacinto.
Yes.
Grabe, no?
Even
Talagang,
Katipunan
Oh.
headquarters.
Mm.
Even si Makayo Sakay.
I
the
think you also
general.
mentioned to me, Dolphy. As
Yes,
actor,
Dolphy
right?
also from Tondo. Also this Florante and Laura the writer.
Like that? Ay, Francisco Bal-
Francisco Balagtas, I think spent his childhood or youth in
Mm.
Tondo a lot.
mm.
You'd be amazed there are so many artists, artista, writers. Even I remember the late poet Virginia Moreno, the famous poet from Gagalangin Tondo. Also, his brother, the most famous fashion designer, Bitoy Moreno from Tondo, Gagalangin.
Mm.
My father, part of his youth in Gagalangin Tondo, me in Moriones Tondo. I have relatives. I have 3 relatives in the PBA, Philippine Basketball Association, 3. Together, sabay-sabay sa
Na
PBA.
taga Tondo rin.
Ang roots.
Okay.
Ang si Paul Lee.
Of course.
Paul Lee grew
Lita
up in,
Sniper.
yes, and has a house in Tondo. The parents, Gagalangin Tondo. He is my nephew, grandnephew. He is from Gagalangin Tondo. Paul Lee, ang tawag sa kanya ng media, ang hastang Tondo.
Yes, yes.
Number 2, si Sean Anthony. The mother is my cousin.
Okay.
The mother's roots are in Balut, Tondo.
Okay.
And also,
Pero nag-asawa, I guess,
So,
kaya
Canadian.
Anthony.
Yes.
Okay. Kaya
Yes.
pala Anthony.
and then my cousin's son, Ralph Koo, is the newest
Bata pa
family
to, no?
member.
Medyo
Yes,
bata pa.
young
right?
guy. He's with Hinebra team of si Ralph Koo, her lola, her grandmother is my father's younger sister, Cornelia Lee Koo.
Okay.
Many people from Tondo, very unique place. It's a historic area. Hopefully, it will not be remembered as a place of crime, poverty, and tragedy.
And garbage. And
Yes, and it used to be a place of heroism. Many of the early battles, there was a battle called Battle of Bangkusay. That was the last Filipino battle before the Spaniards took over Manila. It was in the Tondo area also.
in a hypothetical scenario, Wilson,
Yes.
na let's say wala doon ang Smoky Mountain, di ba? Do you think
Yes.
the perception would still be like that? Anong nangyari?
Very
From a
good
kingdom,
question. Very
from a
good
kingdom,
question.
di ba? Bakit bumagsak?
I heard because after independence, the Philippine economy has been mismanaged by many politicians through the decades. So our economy kept on sliding through the years. People do not notice lang. They just noticed during martial law, it skidded down very big. When Aquino was assassinated, it collapsed worse. And now with the flood control corruption that is unabated, unresolved, questionable, I think this will be another major slide down for the Philippine economy. So what happened? Why Tondo? Why so many poor people? Why so many workers? My theory is because that is where the big piers are, the big port harbor. So many of the provincial people in the past, when they want to come to Manila to look for greener pasture, to get better education, to get jobs, they usually land in the port of Tondo and stay in the neighborhood. So the neighborhood became all these people going there. So it became a melting pot. Tondo became a melting pot. So you have this, what we now call the squatter communities. The informal settlers grew and grew in Tondo. So it became a symbol of urban poverty, urban chaos, urban tragedy. I think that all these factors created that situation. But it should not be.
Sana na-maintain.
Oh,
Sana na-maintain. Because tama ka, people literally arrived there,
Yes.
right? So parang ang sayang that
And many of them, when they land there, they just stay in the neighborhood. in ordinary informal families, they rent siguro bed space somewhere in ano.
I think, Wilson, I wanted to bring about,
Yes.
you had an interview back then, way before, no, with, I think,
Yes.
ABS-CBN. I think with, hindi naman si Corina Sanchez mismo, but I think one of our team members.
Yes,
And
yes.
nakakatawa because they ask you a question daw, whether or not you being a Chinese Filipino, one of the, I guess, well-known people that promotes Chinese Filipino relations, taga-Tondo ka ba, sir? And parang nung sinabi mo, hindi. Ay, sorry, taga-Binondo ka ba, sir?
Yes.
At sinabi mo, hindi.
Parang,
Parang there's this sense of disappointment. Na
that's
mo, right?
surprise.
Disappointment, diba?
Yes,
Bakit?
yes.
Like,
I
hindi
grew
ba
up.
Chinoys are not associated ba na taga-Tondo? Diba?
Most people think Binondo because they think that's the larger Chinatown that they presume all of us will grow up there. I grew up in the part of Tondo that is not even Divisoria. There's a part of Tondo kasi that's Divisoria. Technically, that's part of Chinatown pa. I'm in the Moriones part of Tondo.
Okay.
Exact location.
Would you say that's the higher level?
No, that's a working class area. The higher up level of Tondo maybe is the Divisoria area, kasi more businesses. Actually, that's where Manny Villar learned his first businesses by observing the Chinese entrepreneurs in Divisoria. When he was a kid, living in Tondo, he would accompany his grandmother who was selling seafoods and fishes in the palenque of Divisoria, Tondo. So I grew up in the Moriones part, which is considered the working class part. I think the reason for that because my ancestors were in the lumber business. And in the lumber business, you need a lot of land for lumber yard where you stack the wood and have a sawmill. And maybe in the 1930s, it was 1920s, 1930s, Tondo was like Laguna now or Cavite.
Mas mura pa yung lupa?
Cheaper land instead of downtown Manila. Because in the past, 1920s, 1930s, there was no Makati, there was no BGC, there was no Ortigas. So the center of business and finance and commerce was Binondo, Divisoria. So the periphery area na yung Tondo. So they put up lumber business there. My other relatives, that's why we all grew up in the Tondo area. Even Sean Anthony's grandfather, the late Ambassador Howard D., grew up in Tondo, Balut, Tondo, when he was a kid.
Okay. I guess when people know that you came from Tondo, napapansin ba that there are perceptions na, kana kya in Chinese, right? Or, why did you live there?
Yun nga.
Right? Diba?
Parang why even go to that area?
Diba?
Tough neighborhood,
right?
Before, up to now, that's the perception of people. But don't forget, many of the ethnic Chinese entrepreneurs live and do business anywhere, everywhere in the Philippines, even in Sulu, even in Cotabato. In fact, there's a movie, I forgot what movie, somebody told me, na a Westerner now riding a boat, going to this godforsaken island in the Pacific Islands now, very isolated island. In the middle of island, there was a Chinese sari-sari store with a Chinese storekeeper. Anywhere there are people, the ethnic Chinese entrepreneurs will go and do business. Okay. Anywhere.
Okay.
Wag lang magulo sobra.
So I think in an excerpt that you said,
yes,
your father actually bought 5 hectares of land.
For the family, yes.
Mo, diba?
Yes.
How was that? Kamusta yung naging negosyo nyo nun?
Very interesting.
Was it a good move?
He was very young. His father, my grandfather, died when he was very young. He became the boss of the family business. But it was not entirely his own business. He had many uncles, grand-uncles, many relatives together. And he was a young guy and very ambitious now. He bought big land and he was scolded now by all the uncles. All the uncles were angry. This young guy, you're so ambitious. Why are you crazy? Number one, the original sawmill of my great-great-grandfather was in T. Alonso Street. In the Spanish era, it was called Calle Arranque, near Arranque Market. It used to be Arranque Street. Later on, in the American era, 1900s, they changed the name to T. Alonso Street. Right across the Lingnam Noodle House. But before the war, there was no Lingnam yet, 1950 ba yan? Oo, 19, Spanish
Classic.
era. Yes,
Classic.
Spanish era. That was a lumber yard there. But my father, when he was in his 20s now, 1930s, the reason my age and my father's age is so big, an age gap, my father had a wife, died, remarried my mother. So when he was 20 plus years old, 1930s, my grandfather suddenly died. He became the boss of the company. He was very ambitious and bold now, and bought using company funds to buy this big piece of land in Gagalangin Tondo, and put up this sawmill there. Luckily, he did very well. The family did very well. But later on, before I was born, there was a family squabble in the 1950s, 1960s. In that family squabble, complicated family business, we should have an entire session of Pandesal talks on family squabbles and family business, a multi-generation business. So family squabble, my father lost control of the business. So he had to get out of the family business that he bought.
Kahit lupa niya yun?
Hindi sa kanya personal.
Okay. Parang nasa kampanya.
He bought it for the company. That's a family company. It's a very long story. Kasi you're the boss, but you're not majority owner. You have uncles, you have your grandfather's cousins, you have many brothers and sisters. Later on, he put up his own smaller, technically smaller lumber, 7,000 square meters in Moriones na, in Juan Luna Street, corner Pavia Street. That's where I spent the first 6-7 years of my childhood. Now, I thought I was already wealthy. I did not know my father was. It's a long story.
In hindsight, dapat pala lumber tycoon ka.
That's another story. In the Philippines, unfortunately, the government before up to now has failed in reforestation. Unlike in Canada, unlike in USA, or unlike in Australia, or maybe in China now, they are big in reforestation. So I'm very tragic about Philippines. Lumber, forestry is a renewable resource. It's not like oil. When you dig up oil, when you dig up gold, there's no more oil in that area pag naubos na. If the oil well is finished after 100 years, there's no way you can have new oil anymore. But forest, when you chop, when you log and everything, you immediately replant the same trees. After 20, 30 years, 40 years, you still have other forests. That's why you go to Canada, US, Australia. There is still the forestry industry. There's still forests. Unfortunately, in the Philippines, our government, the politicians, the bureaucrats, like the ghost projects, my theory is there was ghost project of reforestation. There was a policy, it's in the law. Nobody really monitored, nobody really did it. So there's no more lumber industry in the Philippines. It's no longer a big industry in the country, unlike before. It was like a major industry. It was like mining before. If you were a lumber tycoon in the 100 years ago, 50 years ago, you were like a mining tycoon today. Wala na. Unfortunately. So that's the reason why we ended up in Tondo.
Sayang.
Yes, that's why si Sean Anthony, the grandfather, why was he in Baluton and Tondo? Because his grandfather's father had a sawmill also in that area. All our relatives were there.
Okay.
That's another sad story in the future about forestry in the Philippines.
Okay. Paano ka?
We should plant more trees.
Like you mentioned, Tondo, childhood. Pero I guess bakit ka nag-relocate? Or I mean,
that's another story. Very interesting.
That just came by.
My father was struggling legal battle to gain.
Yun yung squabble.
Yes,
Okay.
squabble with the family, but he was kicked out yung control. He was outside na trying to challenge pa legally, and he was starting to, at a not young age anymore, he had to start all over again while battling a legal battle. And then somewhere along the way, he got sick. I think that's because of stress of that battle and everything. Then he died when I was 7. So the business in Tondo, the lumber yard, had to close shop. Then we had to move to Quezon City.
In hindsight,
grew up fatherless.
in hindsight, you actually went to a city na, I guess, mas umunlad. Would
Yes.
you say? I mean,
Yes.
this is quite a center, ah.
It's the better part of the Metro Manila.
Pinakamalaking city.
Yes,
everything,
now.
right?
Yes, very interesting. It's a blessing in disguise also. I grew up in a neighborhood near the school.
Okay, okay. So, ang galing nun ah. I guess what I'm a bit curious about, Wilson, is
Yes.
why did you dig so deep to understand, you know,
I
guess,
was fascinated.
Sobra mo bang
I was
na-miss yung
fascinated.
6 years,
Oh, yes.
6, 7 years?
7
sa
years.
Tondo?
Parang,
Parang
ah,
nag-go down the road ka.
Oo nga,
Lalim
kasi
nun ah.
I even wrote about it because I was fascinated with the place of my childhood. So it's a very historic place, and whenever I read about it anywhere in the books or in the history or online, I'm fascinated. In fact, if I were Mayor Moreno, I would put up a small museum in Tondo
Sana
of the
nga
history
sana nga.
of the district. Very historic.
Because
place.
honestly ako, I don't even
Yes.
remember
Maybe
the
the people
first
don't
few years.
remember.
the
Yes.
first few years of my childhood. No?
Most people do not remember,
Right.
but I have some memories. I know that's the cut-off point when my father was lost from a very big house. I didn't know we were renting lang. I thought we were well off. He was renting already at that time the place for the lumber yard.
I mean, talking to people, Wilson, that might sort of like become like mini historians like you, di ba?
Yes, yes.
Paano mo nakuha tong mga stories mo? Like,
Oh.
did your mom contribute to it before she
Ah.
passed away? And then, sino pa mga tinanong mo?
Very
How did you even find the people to ask?
Yes. Whenever it's regarding the family history, I would ask all my father's relatives. That one. But whenever I would always ask. I'm a very curious person. I love to read. I love to ask questions. Very inquisitive more than most people.
Paano mo na-track si Paul Lee, na-track si Sean Anthony,
oo,
na-connect pala
sabi-
sa'yo?
At the whole family tree. Very interesting.
Okay,
All the
okay.
relatives.
One of the things that I'm also curious about, Wilson,
Yes.
you know, tama ka eh, Paul Lee is actually called...
Even Michelle D.
Michelle is also Tondo?
The roots are also Tondo.
Okay.
The great-grandfather of Michelle D was also Tondo in Moriones pa, Moriones part of Tondo. So Milton, all of us from the same roots, from the same area.
Okay, okay. Yung isa kong tatanungin sana
Yes.
is that, tama ka eh, Paul Lee is actually called Angas ng Tondo.
Yes.
Right? And Angas actually,
Angas is tough.
that cultural aspect
Yes,
of
yes,
it is
yes.
very tied with people from Tondo, right? Now, I guess my question to you, Wilson, ikaw,
Yes.
is there a specific cultural trait na nakuha mo being born from Tondo, no? That I think you attribute to being someone, you grew up from there, right? Mas naging resilient ka ba? Or hindi naman necessarily, mas naging
Maybe.
appreciative ka ba?
Maybe the idea, so maybe more resilient,
Yeah.
more non-elitist. More
Mas in touch with,
maybe more concerned, more interested about
oh, kasi I mean, like in general, Chinese Filipinos, right now,
yes.
generally, dapat
Grew
nasa
up in
Banawe
the-
ka,
Yes, in the
Green
business
Hills,
areas,
o
yes.
New Manila, which is
Oh.
business areas na
Yes.
medyo,
Yes, more
Hogya
upper middle class
already,
and
di ba?
well-off area, yes.
so it's refreshing to see someone so
Yes,
proud
yes,
of being
yes.
born from
I
Tondo,
think
di
it's
ba?
a good background it's a very good place to grow up in.
Correct, correct. Okay, okay. So,
Uh,
thanks, Wilson, for
thank you.
sharing to us about that.
Thank you for the thought-provoking
Oh, di ba,
question.
yung golden age ng Tondo, di ba?
Yes.
Sana makita din natin yon sa lahat ng mga cities natin.
Many poets, writers, artists from there.
Okay, all right. Now, a couple of questions.
Yes.
Just recently, in the news,
Yes.
maybe like 5 days ago,
Yes.
Mayor Isko actually met with BBM.
Yes, I
right?
saw.
Just to put some relevance
Not
to it.
only one time, met several times, I think.
Madalas ba yun, Wilson, that mayors
like-
actually get a direct meeting with the President of the Philippines himself?
Not all mayors. If you are mayor of Manila or Quezon City or Makati,
So he meets with
Especially-
like the major cities?
I
Ganun ba?
think so, especially now, because I think the president, the national government is politically not in the best condition now in terms of popularity and public approval, maybe. So I think the president is more conscious about things that will endear the government to the masses and the people. So I think that's one motivation. Number two, you have a mayor who is very populist, in touch with the masses, and quite popular and action oriented, and not allied with him politically, because
Actually, he challenged him back in the election, di ba?
yes, 3 years ago he kept on challenging him for the presidency, number one. Number two, when he ran for mayor again last May, he was allied with and endorsed by the Duterte camp, specifically Vice President Sara Duterte, who is exceedingly popular up to now. So maybe President Bongbong Marcos maybe sincerely wants to improve the public image of the government, with all the flood control scandal now weighing down on the government credibility and image. He wants to show people he is working on many issues. That's why you mentioned about Mayor Isko and the president. I saw 3 pictures recently in the news. One is President Bongbong Marcos and First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos with Mayor of Manila in the Pasig River project to rehabilitate and beautify the area. So they were together. Then I saw another news about
Parang napapadalas, ha?
mayor talking about Intramuros. In fairness, Intramuros is another fascinating area of the Philippines that has been grossly mismanaged, totally neglected. Hindi man totally neglected, actually, sorry. Sorry to say totally neglected. Has been comparatively neglected compared to its potential. It should have been a major tourist destination in Asia, but it is not. You have a lot of squatters there. There are still urban problem issues there. And my friend, I have a friend, architect and Philippine Star columnist Paulo Alcazaren. He has a proposal during the time of Tourism Secretary Mon Jimenez, and already approved because Intramuros is under the Tourism Department. Mon Jimenez, by the way, was the advertising hotshot, very good advertising agency executive who became good tourism secretary, who was a customer of Kamuning Bakery Cafe. Sayang wala akong picture. He told me he has been here several times. Mon Jimenez time already approved the plan to convert the moat, the water area, the golf area of Intramuros. Intramuros before was surrounded by moat waters. It became a golf area for the elite of Manila and Metro Manila. Instead of catering only to the elite who play golf there, suggestion of my friend architect Paulo Alcazaren, turn that golf area with all those green grasses, with all this water being watered there every day and the lights and everything, instead of just benefiting the few elite people who play golf, make it open to the public as a park. It will soon become a park na. The plan was approved already before, no action taken. It is now going to be pushed through now under the government, ISCO, and the president is going to approve it, I heard.
Okay.
I heard.
Are there any precedents that, precedents
Yes.
that presidents actually meet with mayors from time to time? Like, I guess
Many, I think.
President Duterte meron din.
Many, I think. They
okay,
always
okay.
do that.
Okay,
Because Manila is the capital city.
Akala ko kasi pag national and local, tinatry nating
Sometimes
Kailangan
no
meron
time, pero meron. Not only Manila, even Quezon City and Makati.
Okay. Actually, the PR of it was that ISCO will then also help the president push his national government agenda, like yung national ID.
Yun ba? Nakalagay?
One of the things daw na pag nagagawin nila together. Ay, hindi ko lang alam kung gaano katotoo.
You read it in the news.
Yeah. Diba? That's pretty interesting, no?
I think
Nagtutulungan din.
because our government has failure in communication. The government now
Oh.
has failure communicating to the public effectively what they are doing, and if what they're doing is really benefiting the people or not, because of this very sordid, unresolved, very chaotic flood control corruption issue. It has soiled, it has besmirched, it has damaged almost irreparably the public image and trustworthiness of the national government among the ordinary people.
Kaya sila nagpapatulong
I think,
din.
I think,
Nagpapatulong, right?
Because-
That's a very interesting
because in fairness to Mayor Isko Moreno, whether you like him or not, he is very articulate. He is very proactive in communicating himself
Yeah.
to the public.
Yeah.
So maybe my theory, that is only my theory. I think the president should do more like that. Next should be Quezon City with Mayor Joy Belmonte, because this is the largest city in terms of population and land area in the whole Philippines.
Yeah.
And Joy Belmonte is a very workaholic person. It will do good for the government. If they are failing in the national level, can you imagine national ID if true? That is national government concern, not LGU.
Actually, may isa akong nabasa kasi that
Yes.
nowadays daw, yung mga mayors yung parang nagiging moral compass ng
Yes,
bansa.
you have Baguio Mayor Magalong.
Magalong, diba?
He's more popular than
Ko,
national leaders because of
Diba? parang
Yeah.
dyan mas nakikinig ang tao ngayon.
Mayor Joy Belmonte.
Because they're so
Yes.
desensitized with the national.
Parang there's
Ang
a
layo.
feeling the national government has failed. I saw some interviews recently online asking the people who are to blame for this corruption scandal. They keep saying it's the national government who approved the budget, who approved all the flood control. It's national level. The mayor of Manila, the mayor of Quezon City has no control over flood control projects in their own cities. So it's national government. Ang problema, I think, very, very tragic about our flood control corruption scandal. The reason it cannot be resolved, you have people being in the investigation commission on investigation, all appointed by national leaders. I could not imagine, many ordinary people could not imagine you appointed by the national government will convict your bosses.
Oh,
Very hard.
Parang lolokohan naman ta.
Parang many people tell me, I keep talking to ordinary people, many people, even the most ordinary, uneducated in law and politics, even ordinary people asking me, do you really believe those people there who are well-meaning and sincere people appointed to investigate the flood control, would they convict all the top people up there who appointed them? So that is a continuing problem of the Philippines now, the credibility problem, the crisis of confidence. I would describe it as crisis of confidence, affecting not only politics, affecting not only the morale of ordinary people, sadly, tragically affecting the morale of business investors, whether local or foreign investors.
I don't know how true nga, pero may Korean investment ata na paparating and then they held it off. I just don't know. I mean,
Loans.
yeah, parang loans nga ata. Sabi nila, kung nanakawin lang rin, why the hell do we...
Very sad. I saw many videos of non-political people, showbiz celebrities, business people, academics, professors, speaking out in public about this issue. Last night lang, somebody sent me a video of the award-winning actress Gina Alahar, also now a movie director. She was talking about taxes. She said, why will people pay taxes when you know trillions and billions will be stolen lang?
Actually,
And-
celebrities are becoming a little bit more vocal, no?
Many.
Marami, ah.
And she said that if you don't pay taxes, you will be jailed. But what about those people who are stealing your taxes? When will they be jailed?
Bal sa mukha.
Even one person, a non-political person, but very good-hearted person, Cardinal Ambo David. He has been very vocal about the need for accountability and
Parang sobra na.
integrity or
Yeah.
excessive kasi.
Yeah.
Corruption that is excessive. Alam mo, Lance, I have to tell you my opinion about the corruption. I'm okay if they persist to have corruption. And as long as, number one, it is not excessive, not too much.
Kasi hindi mo talaga matatanggal yan eh.
I
mean, it's kaya nga they call it SOP eh.
Somewhere there.
Yeah.
Number two, they should deliver. In China, in Vietnam, in other countries, Thailand, they have corruption, maybe 10-20%. But you can be sure the roads are fantastic, the bridges are great, the airports, seaports, the factories are working, everything is okay. Here, what is tragic? You have excessive level of corruption, not 10, not 20%. Mayor Magalong said it's 70%. I have friends who say construction projects, it's 70 to 80%. And
Tapos
they
wala
don't
pang
even deliver good roads, not even real flood control projects, not even real public schools that are good.
Lala.
It is horrible.
Okay.
So maybe that's why the president is trying to work with some mayors to boost the public image,
Don't take them.
the very damaged public image of the national government.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I hope to end the episode
Yes.
in a lighter note.
Do you know how to do that? A lighter note, we open this Ube Pandesal of Kamuning
Yeah.
Bakery Cafe. And you first.
Bago yung packaging ah. You
It's
don't
the
put
same.
it, is it, I mean, you don't put the ube here usually.
We have.
Pero ba talaga? Really?
Hindi mo lang napansin kasi
Okay,
marami tayong pandesal dito. We have ube cheese pandesal, and one of our most popular is ube pandesal. Our cameraman, who is very hardworking, si John Ray, should eat also one. Please come over. Huwag ka mahiya. Mag-hi ka rin sa people watching. Hello. The man behind the camera helping us.
Did you give this out in World Pandesal Day?
We gave out plain pandesal, but we have Eden cheese. We have bacon
Pwede mong
sardine.
palamanin, di ba?
We have hobe bihon. Sweham.
Do you still source your ube from Baguio? Hindi naman.
Yes,
Baguio pa to?
we have. Yes,
Diyos ko.
we have ube jam. Ube jam, strawberry jam, pineapple jam, all kinds from Baguio. At Kamuning Bakery, we also sell native fruit wines. Native, not lambanog, not lambanog. Ano yung mga local fruits? Yeah. This is one. Goyabano.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Goyabano wine. Supposedly anti-cancer Goyabano fruit. We have another one here from Benguet, Baguio. This is called
Mangosteen.
mangosteen. We have many fruits here, fruit wines.
Fairness
Drink moderately. By the way, do you know who was our guest who drank our native Benguet wines here?
Yeah.
The outstanding Philippine ambassador to Beijing, Ambassador Jaime Flor Cruz, brought here by the anti-war nationalist activist, si Mrs. Princess Clemenzo. Group of people came here to have dinner. We drank one bottle of mangosteen or Goyabano wine.
Good for digestion though.
Yep, and good Christmas gift. Supporting local farmers in Benguet province.
alcohol
Nga,
14%
yes. And supporting the farmers in Benguet province. Our coffee from Atok, Benguet.
Okay. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
And yeah, let's dine together in Pandesal Day.
Yeah.
There with Mr. Wilson Lee Flores of Kamaring Bakery. Thank you.
One thing I could tell you.
In fairness, In fairness,
Okay, yeah.
In fairness, Dati yan, sige, Anin.
Magkano isang ganyan? I'll check.
Wala pang 100.
Wala pa.
Okay, ah.
Maybe wala pa.